Well, welcome everybody to the May monthly webinar. We are quickly coming to the end of the year, which I know you're all very excited about. This won't be very long. I don't have a lot, but there's just a few things I wanted to make sure that we go over as we start to wrap up the school year. If I can get this to click. There we go. So today we're going to talk about ESY, IEP excusal certification, some medical homegrown information. We're going to have some updates to the CGI, and then a little bit of what's happening now here in our office and our department. So just as a reminder, all ESY meetings should be held by May 11th. Each school is going to need to complete that form stack and submit it by May 18th. Even if you don't have any, you could put none. And then you can see there I've added the link again for that form stack. But I have to submit a report to the State Department by June 1st. So I'm going to need that information, by the 18th of May so I have time to put it all together. Be sure when you're filling out the form stack that you include the amount of service the IEP team recommended. And again, just as a reminder that the teams must review and have the data to make those ESY determinations. Just because a student may have received it last year does not automatically mean he or she should receive it again. It's all based on that data. It's all based on those questions in the IEP. If you're unsure about a student or you're kind of stuck, give me a call and we can help talk it through. The other thing I wanted to talk about was IEP excusals. So anytime you have an excusal from an IEP meeting, you know that form gets generated. So it must be fully completed for any member of the team that won't be present at the IEP meeting. Keep in mind again that core members cannot be excused from a meeting. Excuse me. That excusal form, one thing I'm noticing is that we're not having those forms signed and uploaded into Enrich. So they must be signed by your designee as well as the parent and uploaded into Enrich. Please keep in mind you have to inform the parent prior to the meeting of any member that will not be present in case they want to reschedule the meeting or they want to ensure that that person is there. So just make sure those excuses are getting done, signed, and uploaded into Enrich just like you do the signature pages and things like that. This is something I see that's often forgotten, and we want to make sure that we have them in our documentation when we have excusals. So as part of our general audit, one of the corrective actions was about our certification, which, by the way, just to let you all know, I have submitted everything to the state in terms of our audit at this point. We're 5 months ahead of the game. Woohoo! So hopefully we'll get a response back fairly shortly, and we'll be good to go like we were with Indicator 13. But all of that information, so thank you all for your hard work. It has finally been submitted to the state for their checking. But one of the areas they wanted us to make sure we checked was teacher certification. So as you're beginning to look at the needs for your schools, for your teachers, be sure to check the individual certification. You will each need to also now review your school's charter to ensure that you're following what the charter states. So, for example, we've seen some charters that indicate that all special ed teachers will be certified in the area they are teaching, and then when we collected that information for the audit, that wasn't in fact the case. So you have to make sure you're actually following what your charter states that you will do. So you will see next year that this is going to become a part of the CGI. When you're submitting your certifications for review, we're also going to ask that the date that you reviewed the charter be included as well. So we have to make sure that we're following what the charter says. I know with the charter law, our certification can be a little different, but as long as we're following what we say in our charter in terms of special ed, if they're going to be certified in the area they teach, then we're good to go. So medical homebound and home-based. Recently, we have had a complaint filed against one of our schools, and the Office of Legal Counsel has recently reviewed our policies and procedures. As a result of that complaint, and based on the complaint, they found the school to be out of compliance with the law and has mandated updates for us as a district as whole for district corrective actions. So this information, exactly what I just said, is going to be going in the operator's notes. Hopefully it's going to go in today. If not, it'll be in next week's. but I did want to give you all a heads up about it. All of the updated forms are already placed on our SPED Google Drive. There's a webinar that's there that I've done that's been completed. So it's all there on our Google Drive now. It's on the side menu. It says Medical Homebound. So basically what happened, and what I want to tell you, because I think you're going to be an intricate part of this process, is by June 15th, I need all of the schools to complete the following, and that does include schools that will be transferring. So I will send all of those required documents along with this PowerPoint when I send it out when we're done. So your special education policies and procedures, a new template is going to be sent to you. Each school leader must re-sign the assurances again. As you'll see when you get it in burgundy font, there's been a piece of medical homebound added. On page 46 of those policies and procedures, there now has been medical homebound information added as well. That's going to need to be completed, and it must include a process for appeal by the parent if a medical homebound request is denied by the school. So each of you at your schools, along with your school leader, if you need your board approval, have to have a plan for if medical homebound is denied, how can the parent appeal that process? We need to have that in there. Each school must also post the medical homebound contact person at your school on the school website. I will need a screenshot of that, and it will be sent through, it'll be in the operator's notes and instructions, but it will be sent to the federal programs email. So we'll need a screenshot of that on your website to show that there is a contact person that's been identified. Each medical homebound contact at the school must also complete the homebound training, which is the webinar, and submit a form of completion. Right below you see I've added the links for both of those. The webinar is only about 15 minutes, but anybody who's a medical homebound contact needs to watch that and complete that FormStack form. All of this has to be done by June 15th. I will send you out your policies and procedures. You do not have to fill them out completely. You don't have to go back and put the information that was already in. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm just asking you to do the medical homebound piece. So you only have to focus on getting a new signature on the assurances and that information on page 46. The rest of it will be blank for now, and that's okay because we already have your current policies and procedures. So you don't have to go in and fill them all out again. Just want to make that clear. So some CGI updates. I am still working through their submissions. As you can see, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. I am hoping at least to get your compliance ratings done again by the middle or the end of this month. The growth piece is clearly going to take me a little bit longer, but I'll get that as soon as I can. But I think I can at least get your compliance percentage done in the next few weeks. Just as a heads up again, some updated CGI information that will be included for next year for 18-19. And these changes are based upon the corrective actions from our general audit that we had. So on number 6, you'll see that we're now going to ask you to submit 1 month of service logs for students in all areas the student is receiving. So if they're receiving speech, I need to see a month of speech logs. If they're seeing OT, I need to see a month of OT logs. I'm also going to ask that you submit schedules for those service providers for those specific students that you choose to submit. You don't have to submit them from all. It'll still either be 2 or 5 based upon what tier you are. Number 4, like I said before, in the certification, so you'll now have to add the date that the charter is reviewed by you and or your school administrator to ensure that the school is following what the charter says. An additional requirement that you'll see added will be number 12, and that will be specific to the South Carolina high school credential that we'll be rolling out this fall. I'll ask for some submissions and documentation based on that. Any other changes may come as I work through that growth index piece, but again, don't expect those for quite a while. Hopefully I'll get them before school year ends, but I will definitely try and get your compliance piece knocked out in the next couple of weeks. Also, as an FYI, since we have Epicenter now, instead of sending everything to federal programs, once the school year starts next year in August, we'll be doing submissions through Epicenter, just like we used to do through the Let's Work Smart portal. So that will be up and running for us in the fall. So a little bit about what's happening. So our summer training, a lot of you have asked about summer training, so if you want to keep these dates open and put them on your calendar. So July 23rd will be for new coordinators to our district. For July 24th will be all of our coordinators like we did last summer. And then July 25th we'll do an enriched training for new users or those that feel like they need a refresher. We'll do what we did last year, 2 sessions, one from 9 to 12, and then I'll do it again from 1 to 4. Keep in mind you don't need to attend both of those. It'll be either come to the morning or come to the afternoon session. All the trainings will happen at our district office just like we did before. We'll start at 9, we'll go until 3, and of course on day 1 and 2 we will provide lunch for you, which is always nice to have some lunch provided. Be looking for an email in about summer contact. I know y'all take off for the summer, but I'm going to need to have a contact at each school in case something should come in and I need to get a hold of you. I promise to try not to call you. I won't call you just to bug you or see how it's going on the beach, but I will need some information how I can contact you over the summer. Yesterday I sent out the link to Research to Practice, so the portal is open and you can get on there and register. There are some great sessions this summer. In fact, the high school credential, if you're a high school, they're actually having some sessions, all-day sessions about that specifically and how to do portfolios and how to keep documentation. I'm actually going to attend one of those myself just so I can help support you all. But there are some really good courses this year, so please be sure if you're interested to go on and register. They are free. They're happening, obviously, I think they're in Columbia. But this year you actually register for the courses you want to take or the sessions you want to do as opposed to just showing up. So get on there and register if you're interested in doing that. So yesterday I did a webinar about the South Carolina High School Credential. Many of you attended, but if you're interested, it's been posted under the meeting documents from yesterday. There's the link to the webinar we did. And then I've also added on our Google site another sidebar on the menu. It says South Carolina High School Credential, and there you'll find lots of information in regard to the credential, the history, some forms and things like that that might be helpful. And then finally, I'm very excited to let you know we do have someone joining our team. Susan Howard, who is currently a coordinator in Greenville County, has accepted the position as my new partner in crime. So we're very excited to have her come on board. Her official start date will be July 10th. Like I said, she's going to be a great addition. I'm really excited to have her on board. We're looking forward to it. July 10th can't come soon enough for me. But if you all, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and see if we have any questions popping up. Just so you know, Susan actually has called into this webinar as well. So, if y'all want to give Susan a shout out, we could welcome her to the public charter school district. So Scott Barr asked if we have homebound policy procedures in place, can we continue to use that? Yes, as long as it follows the policies and procedures I'm going to send you. So I still need that information filled out on our current policies and procedures as part of the corrective action from the complaint. Anybody else have any questions? Y'all are awfully quiet today.
They say you walk them all the way down and you just watch. Because you were terrified. You're terrified.
I don't have anything.
Apparently, I don't know the drill, and they just
They run laps around this, sometimes I just wait at the end for them, and then they'll catch up with me whatever.
Oh, someone must have their phone on. Please make sure you mute the volume. You must be getting feedback. I don't hear it because my speakers are off. All right, well, I'm not seeing any other questions pop in, but you guys know if you have any questions, you can always email, text, call, Skywrite, Pony Express, whatever you need to do to get your message or question to me. I will send all of this information out in terms of those policies and procedures and everything else from this afternoon. If you have any questions as you complete it, please again let me know, and I'll help you work through them. But if not, I know testing starts tomorrow, and some has already started, so I hope testing is going well. And I promise again I won't bother you, but if you need me, you know how to reach me. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this and stop recording if nobody has any other questions.
Scott Barr
has left the meeting.
Becky.
All right, we will talk to
Has
y'all
left the
soon.
meeting.